This broadcast is a work of fiction. It is a creative story intended for entertainment and atmospheric purposes only. Please be assured that the events described, including the reports of a chemical gas attack, a citywide crisis, and the presence of the Joker entity, are entirely imaginary. No such attack is occurring, the world is not ending, and there is no real-life emergency. This is a narrative exercise in psychological horror and urban survival storytelling. Good evening, Gotham. My name is Julian Thorne, and if you're tuning into this emergency frequency, it means you've already realized that the sirens aren't stopping. I am broadcasting from a reinforced studio in the heights of the Diamond District, but even up here, behind 3 layers of industrial-grade glass and a filtered air system, the city looks wrong. I want to start by saying something very important for those of you huddling in your living rooms or hiding your basements. The world is not ending. I know it feels like it. I know the sounds coming from the streets are unlike anything we have ever heard. But this is a localized chemical event. The world outside our city limits is still moving, still breathing, and the authorities are mobilizing. We are not alone, but for tonight, we are in the punchline. It began at 7 p.m. during the Jubilee Parade. We all saw the balloons, those massive, grinning faces floating over the crowds in Midtown. We thought it was just another theatrical stunt from a man who has made the city his personal stage for years. But when the first balloon burst over the intersection of 5th and Main, it wasn't confetti that came out. It was a pale, translucent green vapor. It settled over the crowd like a heavy morning mist, odorless and quiet. Within 30 seconds, the screaming started. But it wasn't the kind of screaming you'd expect from a gas attack. It was laughter, high-pitched, mechanical, and rhythmic. It's a sound that hasn't stopped since, and it's currently echoing through every alleyway from Old Gotham to the Narrows. If you're hearing this, you need to follow these protocols immediately. Do not, under any circumstances, open your windows to see what's happening. The chemical agent, which the GCPD has tentatively identified as a variant of the Smilex compound, is heavier than air. It is settling in the low-lying areas, the streets, the subways, and the basements. If you're in a ground floor apartment, move to the highest point in your building. Seal your doors with damp towels. If you have duct tape, use it to cover every vent, every electrical outlet, and every gap in the floorboards. This gas is opportunistic. It seeks out the airflow of a building. It wants to get inside. It wants to find you. Let's talk about what we're seeing on the monitors. The symptoms of exposure are rapid and horrific. We've received reports from the triage centers that are still operational. The gas triggers a massive, localized surge of dopamine while simultaneously paralyzing the diaphragm and the facial muscles. The result is a permanent, fixed grin, a muscular contraction so intense that it can actually fracture the jawbone. The victim is forced into a state of uncontrollable laughter while their lungs struggle to find oxygen. It is a biological paradox. You are laughing while you are suffocating. The Joker isn't just killing people. He is turning them into a joke that they are not. I have a report from an eyewitness who was at the parade. A young man named Leo. He managed to get into a store and seal the door before the cloud reached him. He described watching a police officer, a man who was trying to help the crowd, get caught in the first wave. Leo said the officer didn't fall. He just stopped. His hands went to his face, and then he started to shake. Then the sound came out, a jagged, barking laugh that didn't sound human. The officer's face began to contort, the skin pulling back so far from the teeth that the gums began to bleed. And the most terrifying part? The officer was still trying to use his radio. He was trying to call for help, but all that came through the frequency was that same rhythmic The GCPD is currently overwhelmed. Commissioner Gordon has issued a code purple for the entire city. This means that the police are no longer attempting to make arrests or manage the crowds. They are in a state of total containment. They are blockading the bridges and the tunnels. No one goes in and no one goes out. They're trying to prevent the gas from reaching the mainland. But the Joker has anticipated this. He has rigged the ventilation systems of several major skyscrapers to pump the gas directly into the offices. The smile is moving vertically. If you're in a high-rise, do not assume the height is your safety. Check your vents. If you see even a hint of a green tint in the air, put on a mask, any mask, and move to the roof. I want to talk about the psychology of the gas. This isn't just about the physical effects. It's about the paranoia. We've had reports of fake survivors, people who have been exposed but haven't reached the final stage of paralysis yet. They're walking through the streets, knocking on doors, asking to be let in. They look normal for a few seconds until they start to giggle. Then the giggle becomes a cackle, and by the time you realize what's happening, they've already brought the gas into your home. Do not open your door for anyone. Not the police, not your neighbors, and not your friends. Unless they can provide a prearranged safe signal, you have to assume that everyone outside is a carrier. It is a cruel rule, but it is the only way to stay sane in a city that is losing its mind. I'm looking at the chaos feed from the Narrows. The Joker's henchmen, the ones in the clown masks, are moving through the streets in armored vans. They aren't shooting. They are broadcasting. They have massive speakers mounted on the roofs of the vans, playing a loop of circus music mixed with the sound of thousands of people laughing. It's a sensory assault designed to mask the sounds of the real victims. It's designed to make you feel like the whole world is a carnival, and you're the only one who didn't buy a ticket. If you hear the music getting louder, turn up your own radio. Drown it out. Do not let that sound become the rhythm of your thoughts. Let's talk about the countermeasures. We have word that Batman is on the move. There have been sightings of the Batmobile near the chemical plant in the East End. There is a desperate hope that he can find the antidote, or at least shut down the primary distribution nodes. But the Joker has been planning this for months. He's turned the city's infrastructure into a Rubik's Cube of traps. Every time the authorities try to shut off a gas line, a different one opens. He's playing a game of whack-a-mole with our lives. We have to be the static variable. We have to be the ones who don't react, the ones who stay hidden, and the ones who stay silent. I have a report from a nurse at Gotham General. She said the emergency room is full of people who haven't been exposed to the gas, but they are suffering from panic-induced hysteria. They are laughing because they are afraid they will start laughing. It's a psychological contagion. The fear of the joke is becoming the joke itself. To those of you feeling the edge of panic, breathe. Use a square breathing technique. 4 seconds in, for seconds hold. 4 seconds out, for seconds hold. Keep your heart rate down. The Joker feeds on the high-frequency energy of the city. If we all go quiet, if we all go flat, we take away his audience. The red heat of the fires in the Bowery is making the gas more volatile. The heat causes the vapor to expand and rise. If you're in the northern districts, the wind is currently blowing the cloud toward you. You have approximately 20 minutes to secure your perimeters. We are seeing a purple haze settling over the rooftops. This is a secondary variant of the gas, one that is more concentrated and acts faster. If you see purple, you're in a kill zone. You must use a heavy-duty respirator or self-contained breathing apparatus. A wet cloth will not be enough for the purple variant. I want to speak to the parents out there. I know you're trying to protect your children. I know you're trying to keep them from hearing the sounds outside. Tell them it's a grand performance. Tell them the city is putting on a play and they have to stay in their fort until the curtain falls. Do not let them see your fear. Children are incredibly sensitive to the aura of a room. If you stay calm, they will stay calm. And for the love of God, keep them away from the television. The images coming out of the parade route are not something any human should see, let alone a child. We have seen the grin on faces as young as 5. It is a stain on the soul of this city. I'm checking the power levels for this station. The Joker has targeted the main power plant, but we are running on an independent solar and battery backup. We will keep the signal live as long as the hardware holds. I want you to listen to the silence of the heights for a moment. Up here, it's quiet. But if I turn the microphone gain up, listen. That low-frequency thrum? That's the sound of 5 million people in a state of forced euphoria. It's a hum of the city that has been turned on by a madman. It is the sound of a heart that is beating too fast. I have a message for the scavengers and the looters. I see you on the security feeds. You think the chaos is a cover for your greed. You're breaking into jewelry stores and electronic shops while the city burns. You don't realize that the Joker has laced the merchandise. He knew you would come. He's coated the diamonds, the phones, and the cash in a contact-based version of the toxin. I just watched a man on 4th Street collapse after grabbing a handful of watches. He didn't even get 10 feet before the laughter took him. The city is a booby trap. Nothing in the streets is worth your life. Get home. Empty your pockets. Wash your hands. Let's talk about the punchline. Why is he doing this? It's a question that the psychologists at Arkham have been asking for years. But the answer is simple. He wants to prove that we are all just like him. He wants to prove that under the right pressure, our civilization is just a thin layer of paint over a screaming, laughing void. He wants us to look at each other and see the monster. By refusing to laugh, by refusing to panic, and by refusing to turn on each other, we are ruining the bit. We are the hecklers in his comedy of terrors. Stay focused on your humanity. Remind yourself of your name, your birthday, and the people you love. Those are the hard facts that the gas cannot dissolve. I have a report from a survivor in a subway car that was trapped between stations. He said the gas started leaking in through the vents. There were 30 people in the car. He said one woman started laughing, and instead of panicking, the others started singing. They sang anything they could remember. Church hymns, school songs, even commercial jingles. They sang so loud that they couldn't hear the laughter. They created a wall of sound that kept the panic at bay. When the rescue team finally reached them, 20 of them were still human. They survived because they chose a different vibration. This is a lesson for all of us. Use your voice, not to scream, but to drown out. The GCPD has started using neutralization vents in the sewers. They're pumping a counteragent into the pipes to try to break up the gas. But the Joker has countered by releasing a flash freeze chemical that is turning the counteragent into a solid. The sewers are backing up. If you see a green liquid coming up through your drains, stay away from it. It is a highly concentrated form of the toxin. Use heavy plastic and duct tape to seal your sinks and toilets. We are being attacked through our own plumbing. It is a total invasion of the domestic. I want to speak to the last-minute evacuees. If you're in your car, turn off the air conditioning. The intake vents are pulling the gas directly into the cabin. Keep your windows up and use the recirculation setting. If you see a crowd of people standing in the road, do not stop. They may be the laughing dead, people who are already fully assimilated and are looking for new hosts. Drive around them. Do not engage. Your car is a moving shelter, but only as long as it is sealed. If your engine stalls, get out and head for the nearest brick building. Do not stay in the metal box. The red heat is moving toward the Wayne Tower area. The Joker has a strange obsession with that building. We've seen cloud drones circling the spire, dropping canisters of a yellow smoke. We don't know what the yellow smoke is yet, but it's reacting with the green gas to create a neon cloud. The visibility in that area is zero. If you're in the Wayne Tower district, you are in the eye of the storm. The battle between the bat and the clown is likely happening right above you. Stay in the deep basements. The tower is built to withstand a bomb, but it wasn't built for a smile. I'm looking at the atmospheric sensors. The barometric pressure in the city is dropping. This is creating a suction effect that is pulling the gas from the harbor into the residential zones. We are seeing a total saturation of the East End. If you're in the East End and you haven't sealed your home, you have approximately 5 minutes. This is the final call for that district. After that, the air will be 90% Smilex. No one can survive that concentration without a tank of pure oxygen. I want to speak to the last responders again, to the medics who are still driving, to the firefighters who are still pumping, and to the police officers who are still holding the lines. You are the backbone. The Joker wants to break the chain of command. He wants to turn our protectors into his performers. If you feel your resolve slipping, if you feel the giggle in the back of your throat, use your EpiPen. The adrenaline can temporarily counteract the neurotoxin. It gives you a few more minutes of clarity. Use those minutes to get to a clean zone. We need you alive for the aftermath. The paranoia is starting to manifest in the emergency frequencies. I'm hearing voices on the radio that sound like dispatchers, but they're giving suicidal orders. They're telling people to go to safe zones that we know are infested. The Joker has hacked the signal. He is using our own voice of authority to lead us into the trap. This is why you must stay on this frequency. I am verifying every piece of data before I speak. If I don't say it, don't believe it. We are the hard line. I'm looking at the clock. It's been 3 hours since landfall. The first wave of victims is reaching the terminal stage. This is where the facial muscles lock permanently, and the laughter stops because the lungs have collapsed. The city is becoming a statue gallery. Thousands of people frozen in a state of eternal, silent mirth. It is a vision of hell that even Dante couldn't imagine. But we are still here. I'm still talking. You are still listening. That means the joke isn't finished. And as long as it isn't finished, we can still win. I want to talk about the sound of the bat. Every few minutes, I hear a boom. That isn't an explosion. It's the sound of the bat wing breaking the sound barrier over the city. It's a sound of justice. It's a sound that says someone is fighting back. It reminds us that we aren't just victims in a cage. We are part of a larger war. Hold on to that sound. Let it be the rhythm of your endurance. The Green Sea has officially swallowed the streets of the Diamond District. From my vantage point on the 32nd floor, I can no longer see the pavement. I can only see a thick, churning river of emerald vapor that flows between the buildings like a predatory tide. It has reached a level of saturation where the streetlights are nothing more than faint, sickly orbs of yellow light struggling to pierce through the gloom. This Smilex compound is no longer just a mist. It has become a heavy, atmospheric weight that seems to be pressing against the glass of this studio. I can hear the structural groaning of the building as the ventilation system struggles to maintain the positive pressure. If that pressure drops, the gas won't just leak in. It will be sucked into this room with the force of a vacuum. I have reinforced the seams of the door with industrial-grade sealant. But the scent of the city, that mixture of rain, exhaust, and now the sharp, sweet tang of the Joker's chemicals, is starting to bleed through my senses. We have an update on the Arkham integration. For those of you hoping that the containment at the asylum would hold, I have the unfortunate duty of informing you that the Joker did not act alone. We've intercepted a series of distress calls from the island. It appears that a coordinated strike from within the facility occurred simultaneously with the gas release at the Jubilee Parade. The heavy hitters, the ones who thrive in the chaos, are out. We've had reports of a cold front moving through the North End, which can only mean that Victor Fries has carved a path through the GCPD blockades. And more concerningly, there are sightings of a massive, shadowed figure moving through the Narrows, accompanied by the sound of breaking bone and rhythmic, wheezing breaths. The Joker hasn't just released a gas. He's released a curriculum of terror. He's populated his comedy with a cast of nightmares. And we are the prop department. If you're currently in the North End, you are facing a dual threat. You have the gas at the street level and the sub-zero temperatures moving through the upper floors. This is a tactical pincer. Do not attempt to use the fire escapes. The metal will be brittle enough to snap under your weight, and the gas is waiting for you at the bottom. Your only hope is to find a middle zone, a floor high enough to avoid the mist, but low enough to benefit from the building's residual heat. Use your furniture to create a heat box in the central room. If you have any remaining water, store it in the bathtub before the pipes freeze. The city's infrastructure is being pulled in 2 different directions, and the joints are starting to fail. I want to talk about the laughter again. I know many of you are hearing it through your walls. It isn't just coming from the streets anymore. It's coming from the pipes. The Joker has realized that the plumbing in Gotham is a natural amplifier. The sounds of the victims in the lower levels are being carried through the copper and lead lines, vibrating into the bathrooms and kitchens of the entire city. It is a symphony of the damned. People are reporting that the laughter sounds like it's coming from inside their own homes. It is a psychological assault designed to make you feel like the walls themselves are mocking you. If the sound is becoming unbearable, you must diacoustize your living space. Use mattresses, heavy clothing, and blankets to muffle the walls. Turn your radio up. Stay focused on this frequency. My voice is the flat line you need. I am the gray in a world of neon green. We've received a priority feed from a GCPD blimp that is currently hovering over the Midtown crater. The pilot, Officer Miller, managed to transmit a series of images before his communication was cut by a clown drone. The images show this stage 2 of the gas attack. The Smilex is beginning to corrode the inorganic material of the city. We are seeing the paint peeling off the cars in sheets of white and red. The bronze statues in the park are developing a strange green patina that looks like moss, but it's actually a chemical reaction eating the metal. This tells us that the gas is an acidic base. It is digesting Gotham. If you have any sensitive equipment, or if you are in a building with exposed steel supports, you must understand that the timetable for structural integrity has been halved. The city is being metabolized by the Joker's malice. I want to speak to the last resistors at the GCPD precinct on 4th and Main. We know you're under siege. We've seen the footage of the Joyriders, the Joker's elite henchmen, using a modified fire truck to pump a liquid variant of the gas into the precinct's intake vents. Commissioner Gordon, if you can hear this, the Diamond District Relay is still with you. We know you've authorized the use of extreme force, but against an enemy that is already laughing, force is just another form of slapstick. You have to use the environment. Trigger the fire suppression systems. The halon gas will neutralize the Smilex, though it will make the air unbreathable for a few minutes. It is a choice between suffocation and the grin. I know which one you'll choose. You've always been a man who prefers the hard truth to a beautiful lie. Let's talk about the man who laughs effect. We are seeing a new symptom in the survivors who were only partially exposed. They aren't laughing yet, but they are experiencing visual distortions. They are reporting that the shadows are starting to look like crested grins. They are seeing clown faces in the patterns of the wallpaper and the cracks in the ceiling. This is the aerosolized neurotoxin at work. It is priming your brain for the final break. It is pattern recognition gone have. If you start to see the Joker's face in the world around you, you must anchor your senses. Use a strong scent, vinegar, peppermint, or even bleach. The olfactory sense is the hardest to hallucinate. If you can smell the reality, you can fight the vision. Do not trust your eyes. They have been invaded by the green. I have an intercepted transmission from the Iceberg Lounge. It seems the Penguin's private security is currently engaged in a three-way war with the Joker's clowns and a group of infected socialites. The lounge, once a bastion of the criminal elite, has become a meat grinder. The irony of the situation is not lost on anyone. The bird and the clown fighting over a city that is currently dissolving. But there is a piece of tactical intel in the noise. The Penguin's men are using liquid oxygen to clear the gas from the hallways. The extreme cold causes the Smilex to crystallize and fall to the floor as a harmless green powder. If you have access to a commercial freezer or AC-O2 fire extinguisher, you have a weapon. You can freeze the joke. If you can turn the gas into a solid, you can sweep it away. The red heat of the fires in the Narrows has created a convection current that is drawing the gas into the upper atmosphere. This is a global threat in the making. If the Smilex reaches the jet stream, it won't just be Gotham's problem. The neighboring cities, Bloodhaven, Metropolis, are already placing their populations under a preemptive quarantine. We are a pariah city. The world is watching us through satellite lenses, waiting to see if the infection can be contained to a single zip code. But the Joker doesn't want to leave. He wants to turn Gotham into a permanent monument to his philosophy. He wants a city of giggling statues that will stand for 1,000 years. We are the clay he is molding. I want to speak to the scavengers who are still out there. I saw a group of you on the Wayne Enterprises security feed. You were trying to break into a biotech lab in the North End. You think there's a cure inside. Listen to me. There is no cure in a bottle. The Joker is the one who wrote the code. He is the one who designed the toxin. Any antidote you find in a corporate lab is going to be outdated before you even open the cap. The only cure is the bat. He is the only one who has the chemical intuition to match the Joker's biological anarchy. If you're in that lab, look for neural inhibitors, anything that slows down the dopamine response. It won't stop the gas, but it will give you a fighting chance to keep your mind while your body fails. I'm looking at the clock. It's 11:45 p.m. We are approaching the midnight surge. Every Joker event has a peak, a moment of maximum entropy. We believe he is preparing a grand finale for the midnight hour. We've seen cloud drones carrying massive, pressurized tanks toward the Gotham cable news tower. He wants the voice of the city to join the chorus. He wants to turn the news into a comedy special. I am looking at the GCN tower from my window. I can see the green flashes as the drones impact the glass. The anchors, the technicians, the people who are supposed to tell us the truth, they are being reformate as we speak. I want to tell you about the GCN anchor, Sarah Vance. She stayed at her desk until the very end. I watched her last broadcast before the blackout. She was reading a report on the evacuation, and she started to smile. It wasn't a smile of joy. It was a muscle spasm. She knew what was happening. She kept reading. She kept giving the facts. Even as her jaw began to lock, even as her eyes began to glaze with the green, she gave the location of the safe zones. She gave her life to give us a map. That is the human spirit the Joker wants to destroy. He wants to prove that her sacrifice was funny. But we aren't laughing. We are recording. We are remembering. Her facts are our shield. The red heat is now moving toward the Crime Alley Memorial. This is a personal attack on the soul of the city. The Joker has deployed a gas mine in the heart of the alley. He knows that the people of Gotham go there when they have no hope left. He's turned our sacred space into a slaughterhouse. If you're heading to the memorial, turn back. There is no sanctuary there. The only sanctuary is the one you build in your own mind. The Joker can take the alleys, he can take the streets, and he can take the air, but he cannot force a thought into your head if you don't let it in. Stay solid. Stay closed. Let's talk about the blue wave. We've heard a rumor on the military band, a report of a chemical neutralizer being deployed by an unidentified black jet. This can only be the Batwing. The reports say that a blue mist is being dropped over the Diamond District. If you see the blue, open your windows. The blue mist is a counteragent designed to bind with the Smilex and drop it to the ground. It is the antibody Gotham needs. I'm looking out the window. I see it. A faint, sapphire glow is descending from the clouds. It's moving through the green like a purge. It is the first sign of resistance. The bat is in the sky. The joke is being challenged. I want to speak to the families in the high-rise apartments. I know you're watching the blue mist and wondering if it's safe. It is safer than the alternative. The bat doesn't use chemical warfare for casualties. He uses it for containment. If the blue reaches your floor, take a deep breath. It will taste like iron in cold air, but it will clear the fog. It will give you back your sight. But do not go out yet. The ground-level clowns are still active. They are wearing gas masks that are immune to the neutralizer. They are the cleanup crew. They are moving through the blue zones to finish what the gas started. Stay in your forts. The war is moving into the physical phase. I'm looking at the Wayne Enterprises satellite feed again. The neon cloud over Wayne Tower has erupted. It wasn't a bomb. It was a release. The Joker has used the tower as a giant atomizer. He's turned the tallest building in the city into a Smilex factory. The blue mist is fighting a losing battle against the infinite supply from the tower. We have to shut down the source. If the bat can get inside the tower, he can turn off the valve. But the tower is booby-trapped with psychological horrors. Every floor is a level of hell designed specifically for him. We are watching a god fight a demon in a skyscraper made of glass and greed. The red heat is now focused on the Gotham Bridge. The Joker has rigged the suspension cables with laughing gas explosives. He wants to drop the bridge while it's full of refugees. It is a trolley problem on a massive scale. If the bat saves the tower, the bridge falls. If he saves the bridge, the city is permanently gassed. It is the perfect choice for a man who hates heroes. But the bat doesn't believe in choices. He believes in solutions. I'm hearing the sound of the Batmobile's turbo boost echoing through the canyons. He's moving toward the bridge. He's going to try to do both. I want to talk about the sound of the smile. Have you noticed it? The laughter isn't just a sound. It's a rhythm. It matches the frequency of the city's electrical hum. The Joker has tuned the gas to vibrate with the 60 hertz of our power grid. This is why you feel the giggle in your chest when you stand near a refrigerator or a lamp. He is harmonizing the city. He is turning us into a singular, giggling instrument. We have to break the rhythm. Turn off your appliances. Turn off your lights. Use your manual dynamo, if you have one. We have to make the city arrhythmic. We have to be the static in his song. I have a report from a survivor in the Narrows. A woman named Maria. She's been hiding in a lead-lined meat locker for 6 hours. She said the clowns came to her door. They didn't break it down. They slipped a note under the door. The note said, "Don't forget to smile. The bat is dead." It's a lie. It's a tactical lie. They want to take away the hope because hope is the only thing that keeps the dopamine from overwhelming the brain. If you hear that the bat is dead, ignore it. The bat is an idea, and you can't kill an idea with gas. As long as you are resisting, the bat is alive. He is living in your defiance. The red heat is now moving toward my own building. I can see the clown vans circling the block. They've spotted this signal. They don't want the voice of Gotham to keep talking. They want to add me to the show. I am looking at the security monitor. They are at the lobby. They're using a sledgehammer on the reinforced glass. I have approximately 10 minutes before they reach the high security floor. I am arming the final purge, a canisters of halon gas that will fill the studio. It will kill the Smilex, and it will make the room a dead zone for everyone, including me. I want to speak to the last-minute scavengers in the Diamond District. If you're near this building, help me. I am in the East Tower, floor 32. I have the master key to the city's emergency relay. If I fall, the signal goes to the Joker. He will use this microphone to broadcast a global hysteria. He will turn this radio into a weapon of mass psychosis. You have to hold the lobby. Use whatever you have, fire axes, crowbars, or even the blue mist canisters. We are the last line of defense for the truth. I'm looking at the clock. It's 11:55 p.m. The midnight surge is beginning. The sky over Gotham is a kaleidoscope of green, blue, and violet. The city is screaming with light. I can hear the laughter coming up the elevator shaft. It's getting louder. It sounds like 100 people are having the best time of their lives just 10 feet away from me. But I know the truth. I know that those people are biological shells being piloted by a chemical nightmare. I'm not going to join the party. Let's talk about the legacy of the grin. We are a city that has survived Raz Al Ghul, Scarecrow, and Bane. We are a city that is forged in the fire. The Joker thinks he can break us because we are refined. He thinks the Diamond District is brittle, but he forgets how a diamond is made. It is made of pressure. It is made of heat. It is made of time. We are the hardest substance in the world. We don't break. We cut. We're going to cut through his joke until there is nothing left but silence. I want to speak to the bat. I don't know if you're listening or if you're too busy saving the bridge. But if you can hear this, thank you. Thank you for being the hard fact in a city of fictions. Thank you for being the shadow that gives the light its meaning. We are standing with you. We are holding the line in the basements and the bunkers. We are the audience that refuses to applaud. Finish him. Send him back to the void. And then give us the rain. Give us the real rain that washes away the paint. I'm hearing a sound at the studio door. It's not a sledgehammer. It's a key. They've managed to hack the code. The security seal is being overridden. I can hear the electronic beep of the lock disengaging. I'm standing up. I have the fire extinguisher in one hand and the microphone in the other. I am not stopping the broadcast. If they want a show, I'm going to give them a description of the end. I am Julian Thorne. I whisper, and I am not laughing. The door is opening. I can see the green mist rushing in. I can see the clown masks in the shadows. They are smiling. They are giggling. They are waiting. Stay in the light, Gotham, I say. Stay cold. Stay sane. And whatever you do, don't laugh. The sound of a massive pressurized hiss as the halon gas is released. The signal is hit with a wave of static, followed by the sound of a heavy struggle. The clashing of metal, the sound of glass breaking, and a series of muffled, barking laughs that are cut off by the silence of the halon. I'm still here. I'm in the oxygen mask. The clowns are on the floor. The halon worked, but the signal is fading. The EM pulse from the tower has reached the final phase. The city is going dark. The halon gas has settled into a heavy, invisible blanket across the floor of the studio, and for the first time in hours, the air in this room is deathly still. I am breathing through a cramped, industrial respirator, the filters whistling with every intake of breath. On the floor, just a few feet from my desk, the two men in the clown masks are no longer moving. One is slumped against the soundproofing foam, his mask tilted at an angle that reveals a glimpse of the terror beneath. Not the forced grin of the gas, but the slack, unconscious expression of a man who is simply trying to kill the light. The other is sprawled near the door, his sledgehammer still clutched in a gloved hand. The halon stripped the oxygen from the room, and while it saved me from the Smilex, it nearly took me with it. I am leaning over the manual relay now, my hands shaking as I adjust the frequencies. The digital world is gone. Gotham has finally plunged into the total blackout that the Joker has been flirting with since sunset. I'm looking out at the skyline, or what used to be the skyline. The midnight surge has transformed Gotham into a vision of some neon-lit purgatory. The green fog has risen to the 40th floor in some areas, effectively drowning the lower half of the city in a dense, glowing soup. From up here, it looks like a toxic sea. The tops of the skyscrapers are like lonely islands in a radioactive ocean. But the most disturbing change is the color of the sky itself. The chemical interaction between the Smilex, the blue mist of the Batwing, and the yellow smoke from Wayne Tower has created an atmospheric anomaly. The clouds are no longer black or gray. They are swirling, bruised purple, pulsing with internal flashes of green lightning. They're calling it the Aurora Jokeries on the shortwave bands. It is a chemical storm that is currently raining a fine, emerald-colored soot over the entire metropolitan area. If you are hearing this, and you are in the Burnley or Coventry districts, you must understand that the safe zones have been officially compromised. I've just intercepted a transmission from a GCPD mobile unit that was overrun near the Burnley docks. They reported that the Smilex has entered a Stage 3 mutation. It is no longer just a gas. It is becoming a residue. It is coating the surfaces of the buildings in a sticky, translucent film that glows with a faint bioluminescence. This residue is a contact-based version of a toxin. If you touch a wall, a doorknob, or even a piece of clothing that has been exposed to the emerald soot, the toxin will absorb through your skin in less than 60 seconds. This is the invasion of the surface. You can no longer assume that an object is safe just because the air looks clear. If it's green, it's poison. If it glows, it's a trap. Let's talk about the laughter loop. At exactly 12:05 a.m., the Joker successfully hijacked the city's emergency alert system, not to give orders, but to broadcast a rhythm. If you're near a functioning siren or a public address speaker, you are hearing it, that rhythmic synthesized cackle that repeats every 3 seconds. Ah! Ah! It is a sonic trigger. Our remaining medical consultants believe this specific frequency is designed to resonate with this Smilex already in the victim systems. It acts as a biological pacer. It is forcing the laughter of the infected to synchronize with the city's infrastructure. I can hear it even through the reinforced walls of this bunker. It's a sound that makes your skin crawl, a sound that says the city itself is now a part of the great joke. If you can hear the sirens, you must block your ears. Use headphones, use earplugs, or use your hands. Do not let that rhythm dictate your breathing. I have a report from the Gotham General Triage Center, or what's left of it. A doctor named Eris managed to send a text burst before the cell towers in the north end collapsed. He said the Smilex B variant is doing something new to the internal organs. It isn't, just paralyzing the diaphragm. It is rewiring the nervous system to perceive pain as mirth. He described a patient whose arm had been shattered in a car crash, but instead of screaming, the man was laughing with a genuine, terrifying glee. He said the man was pointing at his own bone and joking about the symmetry of the break. This is the psychological inversion. The Joker isn't just making us look like him. He is making us feel like him. He is erasing the natural response to suffering. He is turning our trauma into his entertainment. To the families in the old Gotham tenements, I know the heat has gone out. I know the blue mist hasn't reached you yet. The Narrows are currently a dead zone for the Batwing's neutralizer because of the narrow streets and the high density of the buildings. You are breathing the most concentrated form of the gas. We've had reports of hive laughter in the tenement hallways. This is where a group of people, all infected, begin to laugh in a perfect unison. They aren't individuals anymore. They are a social organism of the Smilex. If you hear a group of people laughing together in the hallway, do not open your door. They aren't looking for help. They are looking for audience members. They want to bring you into this circle. Stay in your rooms. Use your furniture to block the vents. I want to talk about the bat signal. I'm looking at the sky toward the GCPD headquarters. The signal is lit, but it isn't white. It's been filtered with a green lens. Someone, likely one of the Joker's henchmen who infiltrated the roof, has turned the symbol of hope into a grinning mouth. It is a mocking reminder that even our icons are vulnerable. But do not be discouraged. The signal is just light. The man it represents is still moving through the shadows. I've heard reports of the Batmobile moving through the East End like a black ghost. He is targeting the pressure valves of the gas lines. Every time he shuts one down, the green tide recedes a few inches. He is fighting a war of millimeters. We have to give him those millimeters by staying alive. The red heat of the fires in the Diamond District is creating a stack effect in the skyscrapers. The heat is pulling the gas up the elevator shafts and the stairwells. If you're in a building that is currently ungassed, you must understand that the floor level is not your enemy. The shaft is your enemy. Seal the elevator doors with duct tape. Seal the stairwell doors. If you have a penthouse, move to the roof immediately, but be aware of the emerald soot. Use a tarp or a heavy plastic sheet to create a clean zone on the roof. We are being flushed like rats. The Joker wants us all on the rooftops so he can see the final result from his drones. I have an update on the bridge crisis. The Gotham Bridge is still standing, but it is currently a meat grinder. The refugees who are trying to cross are caught between the GCPD blockades on the mainland and the Laughing Dead, who are rising from the back of the traffic jam. It is a stalemate of horrors. The Joker has released a liquid Smilex into the water beneath the bridge. The vapor rising from the river is so thick that the people on the bridge are being slow-dosed as they wait. We are seeing reports of people simply stepping off the bridge, laughing as they fall into the dark. They aren't jumping out of despair. They're jumping because the gas has told them they can fly. If you are on that bridge, get back to the land. You are safer in the city than you are on that suspended trap. Let's talk about the Joker's radio play. I've just intercepted a broadcast on a high-frequency band. It's him, or a recording of him. He's telling a story, a long, rambling, nonsensical story about a man who lost his umbrella in a rainstorm of acid. The story is full of puns and double entendres that are designed to trigger a recognition response in the human brain. It's a cognitive hazard. He's trying to hack our linguistic processing. If you hear a voice on the radio telling a joke, turn it off. Do not listen to the words. The words are hooks. They are designed to drag your mind into the laughter state. Stay on this frequency. I'm not telling jokes. I'm giving you the cold, hard silence of the facts. I'm looking at my own reflection in the studio glass. The halon has cleared, but the emerald soot is starting to settle on the exterior of the window. It looks like a fine, green frost. It's beautiful in a way that makes me want to scream. I find myself wondering, if I open the window, would I finally get the joke? The paranoia is a physical weight. It's a static in the back of my brain. I have to remind myself of the constants. My name is Julian Thorne. I am 44 years old. I am in Gotham City. The sky is purple. These are facts. The facts are the anchors. If I lose the facts, I am just another performer in the circus. To the scavengers in the financial district, I see you on the long-range thermal cams. You are breaking into the Wayne Enterprises vault. Listen to me. The vault is not full of money. It is full of prototypes. And the Joker has gassed the vault from the inside. The moment you crack that seal, you aren't going to find gold. You're going to find a cloud of death. He's used our greed as a detonator. I just watched the heat signature on the monitor simply expand and then go still. That was a human being becoming a statue of salt. Stay away from the vaults. The only currency left in Gotham is time. Don't spend yours on glass. The red heat is now moving toward the Gotham water reservoir. This is the end game. If the Joker can get the Smilex into the city's water supply, the gas becomes irrelevant. Everyone who drinks, everyone who washes, and everyone who uses the bathroom will be integrated. The Batmobile is reportedly heading toward the reservoir at top speed. This is the final stand. If the water goes green, the city is finished. There is no recovery from a water-based contagion. To the engineers of the reservoir, shut down the intake. Even if it means the city goes thirsty for a week, do not let the water flow. A dry city is a human city. A wet city is a laughing city. I have a report from a survivor in a penthouse in Coventry. A woman named Sarah. She's been watching the clown drones through a telescope. She said the drones aren't just dropping gas. They are painting. They're using a high-pressure spray to write HHHA in giant, glowing green letters across the sides of the buildings. It is a vandalism of reality. The Joker is tagging his new property. He is claiming the skyline. Sarah said the drones are moving with a mathematical precision that suggests they're being controlled by a central artificial intelligence. This is the high-tech horror. The Joker has automated the apocalypse. He is no longer just a man. He is a system. Let's talk about the sound of the smile in the subways. For those of you trapped in the MTA tunnels, I know the air is getting thick. This Smilex is heavier than air, which means the subways are the first to fill. You are likely standing in a foot of green fog by now. The laughter in the tunnels is echoing off the tiles, creating a feedback loop that is causing permanent auditory damage. If you're in a tunnel, you must move up. Use the emergency exits. Do not wait for the trains. The trains have become moving hives. We've seen footage of subway car arriving at Grand Central full of laughing passengers. The doors opened and the gas poured out like a waterfall. The train is the delivery system. Stay off the tracks. I'm looking at the clock. It's 1:30 a.m. The midnight surge has plateaued into a steady state of chaos. The city is no longer burning. It is melting. The emerald soot is reacting with the toxic rain to create an acidic slurry that is eating through the tires of the emergency vehicles. The GCPD is officially mobile negative. They are trapped in their precincts. The Bat is the only thing moving in the streets. And the clowns. The clowns are moving in packs now. They have modified motorcycles that are equipped with Smilex blowers. They are chasing the survivors through the alleys. It is a blood sport in the middle of a carnival. I want to speak to the last responders in the emergency services, to the paramedics who are trying to manage the locked-in patients. I know your pain. You're looking at people who are conscious but paralyzed. You're looking at eyes that are screaming while the mouth is laughing. You must use heavy sedatives. If you can't stop the laughter, you must stop the awareness. Use anything that will put the patient into an induced coma. It is the only mercy left in Gotham. If you let them stay awake, their minds will fracture under the strain of the forced euphoria. Put them under. Save the mind, even if the face is lost. The red heat is now focused on the Wayne Tower Plaza. The Joker has erected a giant screen in the middle of the street. He is broadcasting a loop of home movies, the private lives of the people of Gotham. He's showing birthdays, weddings, and graduations. But he's digitally altered the faces. Everyone in the videos is smiling. Everyone is laughing. He is rewriting our history. He is telling us that we were always like this. He is telling us that the gas is just the truth finally coming out. Do not look at the screen. It is a visual viral. It is designed to break your connection to your own past. You were not always like this. You were sad. You were angry. You were real. Hold onto the real. I have a report from a survivor in the Diamond District lobby. He said the clowns who broke into the building weren't looking for him. They were looking for the control room. They wanted to turn on the sprinklers. This is the final layer. The Joker has replaced the fire suppression water with liquid Smilex. If the sprinklers go off, every building in the Diamond District becomes a gas chamber. I am looking at the control panel in this studio. The sprinkler arm light is flashing red. They've done it. They've armed the rain. I have 30 seconds to deactivate the system from this relay. I'm moving to the master override. The gears are stuck. I'm using a wrench to force the lever. Grind, snap. It's disarmed. The red light is out. I've saved this building, but the others. I can see the green water spraying from the vents of the building across the street. The rain of jokes has started. To anyone in a building with a Smilex sprinkler system, get under the furniture. Use a tarp. Do not let the water touch your skin. It is concentrated poison. I want to talk about the sound of the end. Have you noticed the hum? It's no longer the siren. It's the city itself. The wind moving through the buildings is being tuned by the Joker's modifications to the rooftops. The skyscrapers are acting like pipe organs. The whole city is whistling a minor key cackle. It's a planetary scale prank. We are living inside a giant musical box that is being played by a madman. We have to change the tune. We have to dissonance the system. If you have a siren, if you have a horn, blow it. We need to break the harmony. We need to shatter the joke with ugly human noise. I'm looking at the battery level. 20%. The manual dynamo is my only hope. I'm going to have to crank while I talk. The exhaustion is a physical wall. I can feel the giggle at the edge of my own throat. Not from a gas, but from the absurdity. I am a man in a lead-lined room, talking to a city of ghosts, while two gods fight over the water. It is funny. It is hilarious. No, Louis Spier. It is not. I am Julian Thorne. I am still real. I am still here. The red heat is moving toward the Diamond District relay. I can hear the clowns again. They are prying the elevator doors on this floor. They didn't take the stairs. They climbed the cables. They are persistent. They want the microphone. They want the voice of the buffer to laugh. I will not. I say, I have the halon canister ready for the second purge. I have the fire axe for the final stand. I am the recording of the grave. I am the signal in the static. Stay in the light. Gotham, I say. Stay cold. Stay sane. And whatever you do, don't get the joke. The sound of a heavy, manual crank turning, a rhythmic grinding whir whir whir, that sounds like a heart trying to beat in a vacuum. The EM pulse from Wayne Tower is reaching a terminal level. The purple haze is starting to spark. The city is becoming a plasma joke. I can see the blue glow of the Batwing falling from the sky. He's been hit. The shield is down. Batman, I whisper, get up. We need the shadow. We need the silence. The clowns are at the door. I can hear the scraping of their knives against the steel. They are humming the circus theme. Go away, I say. I am Julian Thorne, and I am still the news. The door to the studio is still rattling, but the halon has done its work for now. I can hear the bodies of the clowns on the other side sliding down the reinforced steel as they lose consciousness. But the victory is hollow. The emerald soot is no longer just a frost on the window. It is a weight. The glass is beginning to creak under the chemical accumulation. Every few minutes, I hear a snap like a gunshot. That's the sound of the skyscraper's exterior panels fracturing as the acidic slurry of the Joker's rain eats through the structural adhesive. I am still cranking the manual dynamo, my muscles burning with a dull, rhythmic ache that has become the only clock I have left. The midnight surge has passed, but we have entered the stagnation phase. The city isn't just dying, it's settling into its new, horrific shape. I am looking at the long-range monitors, and the purple haze has completely obscured the skyline. Gotham is no longer a city of stone and light. It is a neon grave glowing with a predatory, chemical intensity. If you're hearing this, and you're in the Otisburg or Park Ridge areas, you must understand that the barrier has failed. The Joker has used the city's industrial steam pipes to bypass the street-level blockades. He's turned our heating infrastructure into a vapor delivery system. We have reports of people in safe houses being gassed through their radiators. If you're near a steam pipe, or if you see a hissing white mist coming from your heater, evacuate the room immediately. This is a high-pressure variant of the Smilex. It is designed to saturate a room in seconds. Do not attempt to plug the leak with cloth. The pressure will simply spray the toxin onto your skin. You must seal the room and move to a different floor. We are being hunted by the very things that used to keep us warm. Let's talk about the laughter of the architecture. Have you noticed the sound of the wind? It's no longer a howl. It's a musical cackle. The Joker has installed sonic flutes on the tops of the major skyscrapers. As the chemical storm moves through the city, the wind passing through these devices is tuned to the frequency of a human laugh. The whole city is performing for the Joker. It is an acoustic invasion of the psyche. If you're in a high-rise, the hum of the building is now the rhythm of the grin. You must use white noise, static, or even a heavy fan to break the frequency. The Joker knows that sound is the fastest way to the brain. He is trying to sync your heartbeat to the laughter of the buildings. Stay dissonant. Stay off-key. I have a report from a GSPD survivor who is trapped in a biohazard tent near the clock tower. He said the emerald soot is doing something to the organic matter of the city. It isn't just killing the trees in the park. It is reanimating the biological structures. He described seeing a park bench covered in the green residue that appeared to be breathing. The Smilex is acting like a parasitic fungus. It is integrating with the carbon of our world. This means the debris of the city is becoming active. If you see a pile of trash or a fallen tree that is glowing with that faint green light, do not approach. It is no longer just waste. It is a sensor for the hive. The Joker is growing a city that will never sleep, never die, and never stop smiling. I want to speak to the last resistors in the Gotham reservoir. We've lost the Batmobile on the scanners. The blue glow I saw earlier has been extinguished by a massive green flare near the water intake. The rumor on the emergency band is that the Joker has successfully infiltrated the main filtration plant. He didn't just dump the gas. He injected a crystalline variant of the Smilex into the primary aquifers. This is a deep water threat. If you have any water stored in tanks or bottles, ration it like it's liquid gold. The water coming from the taps is now a dopamine-saturated acid. If you drink it, the laughter won't come from your lungs. It will come from your blood. It is a systemic takeover. To the engineers still fighting at the reservoir, if you can't save the water, destroy the pumps. It is better for Gotham to be a desert than a drunken carnival. The red heat of the fires in the Narrows has reached a terminal state. The convection current is pulling the emerald soot into a vortex over the center of the city. We are seeing a tornado of grins, a swirling pillar of green gas and burning debris that is moving through the Bowery. It is a force of nature fueled by madness. If you're in the path of the vortex, there is no sealing your home. The pressure differential will explode your windows outward, drawing the gas into the vacuum. You must get to a subbasement or a subway tunnel that is at least 50 feet below the street. The surface is currently being disinfected by the Joker's cleaners. I want to talk about the mimicry of the dead. One of the most horrific reports we've received is from a GCPD forensics lab. They were examining a victim of the first wave, someone who had already reached the terminal stage of the grin. They said the body spoke. It wasn't a voice, it was a muscle contraction that mimicked the sound of a greeting. The Smilex is storing the vocal patterns of the host. It is playing back the sounds of life through the rigor mortis of the grin. This is the acoustic trap. If you hear a loved one calling for help from the hallway, but their voice sounds mechanical or metallic, do not open the door. It is the gas playing a record. It is the Joker using the dead as a ventriloquist dummy. It is the ultimate violation of the grave. We have a report from the Wayne Tower Plaza. The giant screen I mentioned earlier is now broadcasting a countdown. There are 10 minutes left. We don't know what the 0 hour represents, but the cloud drones are all docking with the spire. They're forming a mechanical crown at the top of the building. This can only mean a massive release is coming. He's going to pressure cook the atmosphere. The blue mist from the Batwing has been completely neutralized by the chemical soot. We are unshielded. We are exposed. To anyone with a line of sight on Wayne Tower, look away. When the 0 hour hits, the flash will likely be a biological flare that will scramble the retinas of anyone watching. Let's talk about the paranoia of the pattern. I find myself looking at the static on my secondary monitor. I'm starting to see shapes. I'm starting to see the grin in the white noise. I have to look away. I have to focus on the gray walls of the studio. The Smilex is priming my brain for a visual break. It's optical warfare. The Joker understands that the human mind is designed to find patterns in the chaos. He is feeding us the grin until we see it everywhere, in the clouds, in the fire, in the static. If you feel the pattern taking hold, you must break the visual. Close your eyes. Count to 100. Recite the constants of your life. The sky is purple. The city is green. I am Julian Thorne. The facts are the only thing the pattern can't absorb. I have an intercepted transmission from the Iceberg Lounge. The Penguin's private security has collapsed. The liquid oxygen they were using to freeze the gas has run out. The report says the lounge is now a hall of mirrors. The infected socialites are dancing in the emerald soot, their laughter echoing off the ice sculptures of the Penguin's vanity. It is a symphony of the elite becoming the chorus of the clown. It is the leveling of the social order. The Joker has turned the wealth of Gotham into the fuel for his comedy. If you are in the Diamond District, do not look for rescue from the powerful. They are the first to be integrated. They had the most to lose, and the Joker took it all with a smile. The red heat is now moving toward the Gotham cable news tower. I can see the cloud drones moving in a V formation. They are painting the GCN logo with a green toxin. They want the message to be the medium. They've already formatted the anchors. Now they are formatting the transmission. If you're seeing a news feed that is glitching with clown faces, turn off the television. The digital signal is now a pathogen. It is carrying the rhythm of the Joker's hysteria. Stay on this analog band. I am the last human voice that isn't auto-tuned by the gas. I want to speak to the last-minute scavengers near Crime Alley. I see you on the thermal feed. You are huddling near the Wayne Memorial. You think the shadow of the bat will protect you. Listen to me. The memory is not a shield. The Joker has laced the bricks of that alley with a time-release version of the Smilex. He wants the place of the trauma to be the place of a joke. He's mocking the origin. If you're in that alley, get to the street. You are safer in the chaos than you are in the trap of the past. The Joker is editing the backstory of Gotham. He wants us to forget the tragedy and only remember the comedy. Let's talk about the sound of the smile in the high-rises. The hum of the building is getting louder. The sonic flutes on the rooftops are reaching a crescendo. It is a high C of madness. People are reporting that the vibration is causing their teeth to ache. This is bone conduction. The Joker is vibrating the skull to induce the giggle. If you feel your teeth chattering, you must bite down on a piece of rubber or leather. Do not let the rhythm take your jaw. We are being played like tuning forks. We have to be the dissonance. We have to be the error in the chord. I'm looking at the clock. 3 minutes to 0 hour. The neon cloud over Wayne Tower is pulsing with a violet light. It is drawing in all the localized emerald soot. It is becoming a singularity of Smilex. We believe the Joker is going to detonate the tower's atmospheric scrubbers. Instead of cleaning the air, they will project the concentrated toxin into a global plume. He isn't just gassing Gotham, he's seeding the world. If the 0 hour happens, the joke goes viral. It will reach Metropolis in an hour. It will reach Central City by dawn. We are the patient zero of the global grin. I have a report from the GCPD blimp Gotham 1. The pilot, Officer Miller, is still in the air. He's the only one with a line of sight on the Batwing crash site. He says the shadow is moving. He says he saw a black silhouette emerge from the wreckage. The bat is alive. He's moving toward the Wayne Tower Plaza. He's bleeding. His cape is a tattered rag, but he is climbing. He's using his grapple gun to move through the emerald soot. He's heading for the final boss. He's heading for the punchline. I want to speak to the bat. I know you're listening, even if you're drugged and broken. We are the audience. We are the witnesses. We are the reason you get up. The Joker thinks he's broken you because he's broken the city. But he doesn't understand that the darkness is where you live. He's illuminated the city with green light, but he's deepened the shadows in our hearts. We are the shadows that will choke his joke. Reach the spire, Batman. Turn off the clock. Shut down the screen. End the bit. The red heat of the vortex is now hitting my building. I can feel the pressure dropping. The inner door is groaning. The halon is almost gone. The clown vans are battering the main support of the building. They want to drop the relay. They want the voice of Gotham to fall with the city. I am looking at the manual dynamo. It's overheating. The plastic is melting. I'm having to crank with my bare hands. The metal is white hot. I'm Julian Thorne. I whisper, and I'm not laughing. The laughter in the elevator shaft is a scream now. They've reached the 30th floor. They are sprinting up the last flight. I can hear the squeak of their clown shoes on the linoleum. It is the most terrifying sound I have ever heard. The sound of the absurd approaching the real. I am arming the final safeguard, a high-voltage grid on the studio door. It will shock anyone who touches the handle, but it will also short-circuit the radio transmitter. This is the end of the signal. This is the final minute of the human record. To anyone still listening, hold your breath. Not just for the gas, but for the moment. The 0 hour is here. The Flash is coming. The Bat is at the spire. The Joker is waiting. It is the great intersection of hope and hysteria. I'm looking at the master switch. I'm looking at the door. Stay in the light, Gotham, I say. Stay cold. Stay sane. And whatever you do, don't look at the screen. The clock is at 0. The Wayne Tower has exploded. It wasn't a fire. It was a wave of purple light. I can see the atmospheric pulse moving through the Diamond District. It is a wall of neon. It is disintegrating the emerald soot. It is rewriting the purple sky. The Bat did it. He detonated the neutralizer core in the heart of the factory. The neutralizer is viral now. It is chasing the Smilex out of the atmosphere, but the shock wave is hitting. The sound of a massive window-shattering crash. The signal is hit with a wall of white noise. The host's voice is a strained, breathless shout. I'm still here. The light is blue. The broadcast is hit with a secondary EMP from the explosion. The signal flickers violently. The host's voice is a whisper. The clowns are at the door. They've hit the high-voltage grid. I can hear the zap of the electricity. They are twitching on the floor. But the radio is dying. The transmitter is smoking. I am Julian Thorne. This was the Diamond District Emergency Relay. The joke is over. The rain is blue. Batman, I whisper, come home. The smoke rising from the primary transmitter has a bitter, metallic tang that cuts through the fading scent of the halon gas. I'm leaning over the console, my lungs burning, but I'm still here. The 0 hour has passed, and the world has not ended. I need to say that again for everyone who is currently watching the sky. The world is not ending. The wave of purple light that erupted from Wayne Tower was not a second explosion. It was the great neutralization. I am looking out the shattered remains of my studio window, and the view is unlike anything in the history of the city. The emerald fog is no longer a predatory tide. As the blue neutralizer settles through the atmosphere, the green gas is crystallizing in midair. It looks like a heavy sapphire snow is falling over the Diamond District. The neon glow is fading, replaced by a deep, calm azure that feels like the first breath of a winter morning. Gotham is no longer a slaughterhouse of smiles. It is a city of salt and silence. If you're hearing this, and you are in a shelter, stay where you are. The chemical war is over, but the biological hangover has just begun. The blue rain that is currently falling is a binder. It is designed to latch onto the Smilex molecules and drag them to the ground, turning the gas into a harmless, inert powder. but the streets are now covered in a chemical sludge that is several inches deep. This sludge is a mixture of neutralized toxin, acidic soot, and industrial fallout. It is not safe. It will cause chemical burns on contact. Do not go out into the streets to celebrate. Do not touch the blue snow. The cleanup will take days, and the recovery will take lifetimes. We have survived the joke, but we are now standing in the debris of the punchline. Let's talk about the great silence. Have you noticed it? The rhythmic, synthesized cackle from the sirens has stopped. The sonic flutes on the rooftops have been silenced by the pressure wave of the neutralizer. But the most profound change is the human silence. The laughter in the elevator shafts, the laughter in the pipes, and the laughter in the streets. It has simply ceased. As the neutralizer enters the systems of the infected, the dopamine surge is being chemically capped. The force euphoria is being replaced by a massive physical crash. We are receiving reports from the north end of people simply collapsing where they stand. They aren't dead, they are exhausted. Their bodies have been running at 200% for 6 hours. Their muscles are spent, their hearts are strained, and their minds are blank. The city is currently a ward of sleep. I have a report from the GCPD blimp Gotham 1. Officer Miller has managed to stabilize his altitude. He is looking down at the Wayne Tower Plaza. The giant screen is dark. The cloud drones have all fallen from the sky, their circuits fried by the blue EMP. He says the spire of the tower is a skeleton of blackened steel. But at the very top, on the observation deck, he sees two figures. They aren't moving. They're sitting on the edge of the ruin, looking out at the blue rain. One is a shadow, and one is a splash of color. The bat and the clown have reached the end of their act. We don't know the condition of either, but the signal has been sent. The neutralizer core was detonated manually. That means someone had to stand in the center of the flash. We know who that was. We know the cost of our sanity. To the families in the Narrows, the blue rain is reaching you. I can see the sapphire glow moving through the canyons of the tenements. The hive laughter in the hallways is breaking up. I'm hearing reports of people crying. It is the most beautiful sound I've ever heard, the sound of real human grief. It means the inversion is over. It means we can feel pain again. If you are with someone who is starting to come down from the gas, you must be gentle. Their nervous system is raw. They're going to experience sensory overload. Keep the lights low. Keep the room quiet. Give them water in small sips. They have been away for a long time, and the return to reality is a violent transition. I want to talk about the scars of the grin. We must be honest about what we're going to find when the sun comes up. The Smilex has left a physical mark on our city. Thousands of people are going to have permanent nerve damage. The fixed grin may have been broken by the neutralizer, but the muscles have been stretched beyond their limit. We are going to be a city of twitches and stutters, but the psychological scars are deeper. We have seen our neighbors, our friends, and our children laugh at our suffering. We have seen the joke in the eyes of the people we trust. The Joker's legacy is a global paranoia that will take generations to heal. He wanted to delink us, and he nearly succeeded. We have to relink through the silence. We have to look at each other and see the human, not the performer. I have an update from the Gotham Reservoir. The Batmobile has been recovered from the intake channel. The crystalline Smilex that the Joker attempted to inject has been neutralized by a secondary blue gel payload that was launched into the primary tanks. The water is safe to the touch, but it is currently undrinkable due to the chemical binding agents. The city will remain on water rationing for the next 72 hours. Do not use your taps. The National Guard is moving in from the mainland with water tankers. They are setting up distribution points at the edge of the clean zones. This is the logistics of the aftermath. The war is over, and the survival has begun. Let's talk about the Joker. Where is he? The GCPD has moved into the Wayne Tower ruins, but the report is inconclusive. The observation deck was empty when the tactical teams arrived. There was only a tattered cape and a single purple glove caught in the rebar. He has vanished into the blue smoke. Some say he fell into the acid slurry of the plaza. Some say he escaped through the service tunnels. But the myth of his invincibility has been broken. He tried to give us a punchline that would end the story, and we refused to laugh. He is a comedian without an audience. He is a failure, and in his world, failure is the only thing that isn't funny. I'm looking at the manual dynamo in my hands. The metal is starting to cool. The red heat is gone. I am no longer cranking for my life. I am cranking for the record. The EM pulse is settling, and the digital frequencies are starting to flicker back into existence. I can see the emergency alert system logo on the secondary monitor. It isn't giggling. It is a steady amber pulse. The authority is returning to the city. But I want to stay on this analog band for a few more minutes. I want to talk to you, the people of the static, before the news becomes corporate again. I want to tell you that you were brave. You stayed cold in a hot world. You stayed real in a fake city. To the scavengers in the Diamond District, I see you on the thermal cams near my building. You aren't looting anymore. You are helping. I see a group of you carrying a wounded officer toward a medical tent. I see a man who was trying to break into a jewelry store now using his crowbar to pry open a jammed door for a trapped family. This is the punchline the Joker didn't expect. He thought chaos would make us monsters. He didn't realize that chaos would make us neighbors. The greed has been neutralized by the emergency. We are cutting through the joke with decency. Let's talk about the sound of the morning. The sun is beginning to peek through the purple clouds. The emerald soot is no longer falling. The blue rain has washed the air. I can hear the sound of birds. Not the clown drones, but real birds returning to the north end. They're the first witnesses of the new day. The acoustic harmony of the city is no longer a cackle. It is a low, industrial hum. It is the sound of engines starting. It is the sound of voices talking. It is the sound of Gotham waking up from a fever dream. It is the ordinary, and the ordinary is magnificent. I have a report from Arkham Asylum. The containment breach has been stabilized. The heavy hitters, Fry's, Crane, Dent, they have been accounted for. Most of them were neutralized by the same blue mist that saved the city. They are being returned to their cells. The night of the rogues is over. The asylum is once again full. But the Joker's cell remains empty. It will stay empty as a warning that the joke is always waiting for a silent city. We must never be silent again. We must keep the noise of our humanity so loud that the laughter can't get in. I'm looking at the clock. It's 6 a.m. I have been on the air for 11 hours. My voice is a rasp, my hands are blistered, and my mind is a fog. But I am Julian Thorne, and I am still real. I'm going to open the window. I'm going to breathe the cold blue air. I'm going to walk out of this relay station and into the city. I want to see the blue sludge on the streets. I want to see the shadows that aren't grinning. I want to see the people who are crying. I want to be part of the recovery. I want to speak to the bat one last time. I know you're out there, watching from the shadows of the Wayne Tower ruins. You've given us our city back. You've given us our sanity back. But you've also given us a debt to be better than the joke. We have to earn the blue sky you gave us. We have to build a city that doesn't need a shadow to keep it sane. I don't know if we can do it, but I know we're going to try. We're going to try because we've seen the alternative, and the alternative is hilarious. To the people of Gotham, the emergency is officially over. The Smilex is inert. The clowns are gone. The laughter is finished. You are free to feel. You are free to grieve. You are free to begin. This is the last broadcast from the Diamond District Relay. The digital frequencies are live. You can turn on your televisions. You can call your families. You can join the world. But remember the static. Remember the voice in the dark. Remember that you were the error that stopped the system. I am Julian Thorne, and I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to listen to the silence. And then I'm going to smile. A real smile. A small, tired human smile. Stay cold, Gotham. Stay real. And for the love of God, never forget the joke. The sound of the manual dynamo slowing down, a long, descending until it stops. The sound of a heavy metal bolt being drawn back. The sound of a window being pushed open. A deep, long intake of breath. Then the sound of distant, non-laughing voices calling out to each other in the street. The signal flickers one last time, then cuts to a steady, silent amber glow. End of story.